Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for joining us. We are the trio of positivity. I am joined by my lovely co-hosts, Miller and Bhupen. I am your third co-host, Christian. We are a Chicago Bears podcast hoping to bring you positivity into your lives, but in typical Chicago fashion, it can be hard to find. Used to be our slogan, but as a recording on a Sunday, the Chicago Bears are first in the NFC. Did not think this would be possible, but before we get into that, we're going to talk about what we're going to do. We're going to recap our comments that were posted on YouTube. We're going to talk about Week 13 in the NFL. We are then going to get to the best part of the segment, which is recapping Bears versus Eagles, get into our positivity scores, and then we look forward to our rivalry with the Packers at Lambeau Field, give our predictions, and we end the episode with a fantasy recap. Boys, how was your weekend? Happy Thanksgiving. What you guys do?
Happy Thanksgiving. Beautiful weekend, family, food, festivities. Everything was great. Bears winning, except the stupid snow that's just killing us right now.
What a beautiful few days. Get to spend it with family, watch some football. Oh, great. And the snow, get to play in the snow, build a snowman. Do you want to build a snowman?
Did you build a few?
I tried. The boys didn't let me though. They tore it down.
All right. You can find us on Facebook, Trio Positivity Podcast, on Twitter or X at The Positive Trio, on YouTube, it's at Trio of Positivity Podcast, and TikTok at Trio Positivity.
Wait. Do we have any likes or any follows?
What do you think? If you were to look us up on TikTok right now, what do you think we got?
Well, I don't have it, so I can't. But I would say no, because that's what we want to do. Please, nobody like, comment, subscribe on TikTok. We do not want any engagement.
Miller, what do you think?
I'm going to say we got 3 views this time.
Oh my God. You know what's crazy? If that we actually had 3 views, Miller would be right. We are still at 0 with 0 likes and follows.
It's like we wanted.
Just like we wanted.
We got them right where we want them.
That is true. I think Bhupen's microphone is acting up again, but I think we should be okay. We're going to keep on trucking, though. We're going to start with the comment recaps on YouTube. There's some good ones. There's some questionable ones. These are coming off of 2 shorts that we did. One, which was the Bears looking at getting first place in the NFC if it was a possibility. Well, now we know that it is a possibility because it actually happened. We're going to start with at 1900R Jeff, who had a lot of crying face emojis, laughing crying face emojis, and said, delusional much. You can barely beat a last place schedule. 50 burger by the real division champs, plus GB twice. Philly rolls you. Good Lord. Phillies did not roll us. Some might even say we rolled Philly.
And we ate them after that.
Yeah.
Pretty much did.
I mean, that was kind of questionable. In the same video at Jimp711, he wrote, the 1 seed, whatever it is you are smoking, please stop. If they win 2 more games, it will be surprising. I will say, I think when we were looking at this Eagles game and we were looking at the rest of the schedule, I kind of was thinking between 2 and 4 wins. That's gone. That's already, I'm already past that point.
What the fuck does that mean? Are you at like
6
undefeated
wins?
the rest of the week this season?
We have 5 games. We're going 6-0, baby.
Listen, we have predictions for a reason.
And this season on a 11-game winning streak.
Well, you never know. But in the same comment, at College World 1086 wrote, the Rams got the first seed at best. The Bears are getting the 2 seed. So I'm not the only one that was thinking that. In the same video at Just Some Guy 461, the offense is fine. It's the defense that will determine how the rest of the season plays out. I think we can all agree with that comment. And then our buddy, Call Me Z, Bears are my number 2 team. So it's all love every week except this week. Go Bears, baby. Die Eagles, die is what ended up happening. And then probably my favorite comment which came from the predictions. At Tervalis Stinker 406 didn't age well, with a lot of crying face emojis laughing. At Phoenix Chaos, ha 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 ha. And Gary Suckup 6579 LOL wrong when you guys picked Eagles and I was the lone Bears victor. Boys, how do you feel after all of that? I mean, I'm sure we can kind of go into the predictions, but you guys have been taking it very well. You guys have been great sports about it.
No, Chris, want to give you your flowers. Like, I think me and Miller were not willing to talk number one seed, none of that. We were just looking at this matchup, and let's be honest, right? The biggest of the biggest Bears homer was the only person that had us beating the Eagles the way we did. We all were trying to be realistic, practical. Let's be honest, right? When Bears gets our hopes high and when we think we're gonna roll some teams, that's the time they pull the rug beneath us and we fall flat on our faces. So I think we're all trying to be a little cautious, but dude, this is dreamland. No one at the beginning of the season had told me that we're gonna go 9-3. Look the way we are looking, beat Eagles at home. Man, we are flying high. This is awesome. Congrats to all Bears fans, truly.
Yep. Miller, your thoughts?
Yeah, agreed. Couldn't say it better myself. Fucking amazing. Hey, I pick them like I see them. I did not see this one coming. And surprising. I was into it the entire time. I just remember the first few games of the season. I was just like, I'm not going to celebrate. Things are going to break down. Things are going to go bad. And now it's like I'm living and dying with this team, man. Every time.
I immediately thought of us watching the game against the Vikings, and we were like, hey, we knew this was happening. Remember, we kind of all said that this is the typical Bears season. They've already exceeded the win totals from a majority of sports books. They had them at 7 and 8.
It was 8.5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Some had them at 7 early on, and then it got bumped to 8. They exceeded our wins. None of us had them going past 8. So I'm just rolling with it. This is great. It's been a long time since I've been in this position. But yeah, let's move on. Thank you guys for your comments. We appreciate it. Please continue to comment on our videos. We will try to read them and reply as much as possible. Even the dumb ones where some people don't look at the whole video and think that we are not Bears fans and that they thought we were a Philly podcast. Yes, that was one of them. All right. We are in the midst of week 13. We have a game going Monday night, but it's essentially over here for us. Boys, what are your thoughts on week 13 in the NFL as of right now?
Yeah, I can start. It's Thursday. Jesus, like the season kind of flipped on its head, I think. Right? Like Cowboys beating Kansas City, like whose playoff chances dropped to 38%. It's a tough road ahead of them. And can you think of like a world like they were in the Super Bowl and they may not make it back, right? Like that's like incredible to me. The Bengals beating the Ravens, that division is wide open and the playoff chances. I think the Ravens still have an inside shot at winning the division, making the playoffs, but that's flipped on its head. Friday, Bears upsetting Eagles, like that will have playoff ramifications. Like Cowboys could catch them if they keep playing this way. But the division, the NFL is wide open, and this is why we love football so much, right? Like we think we know. Like today, Panthers upsetting the Rams, like giving us the inside shot number one. Dude, the league is wide open. Like any given Sunday, beautiful, beautiful football to watch.
Absolutely. My takeaway is just I hate Thursday night football with a passion. Friday night, it was Friday day, which just made it a little more tolerable. But there's nothing better than Thanksgiving football. Those 3 games, just sitting back, eating some good food, watching some football. It's fucking awesome, dude.
I think it was a great slate for a Thanksgiving Day. It turned out to be a really good slate of games, which, surprising enough, you don't really see that often. Boys, my actual take has nothing to do with football.
Of course it doesn't.
It has to do with the halftime show that Detroit put up. Jack White and Eminem. Holy crap. What a performance. The fact that Jack White got to play Seven Nation Army and then have the whole crowd going off on that song. That was a great halftime show. Some are saying that this could have been a Super Bowl halftime show. I'm like, you guys got to calm down. This was perfect for what we needed. Jack White was great. He's a Detroit fan, so, and then the surprise that Eminem was in there too. I think some people weren't expecting it, and so that was great. I thought it was great. Thursday football was fantastic. Before we move on to the Bears Eagles recap and we go that route, the Black Friday game, do you guys feel like that's going to be the slate that takes over? Like that's going to be the mainstays. It's the only. It's like a Monday Night Football game. It's the only NFL game around. Is that good for the NFL? Bad? What are your thoughts on that?
It's gonna
Oh,
stay.
that's a heck of a game.
Well, I mean, it's going to stay. It's contract, but like, do you feel like that has to be a top tier? Like, you know how Thanksgiving is usually Dallas, then it's Lions, and then it's Bears. Like it's always that tradition thing. But that they have a chance to make that Black Friday game be the hottest team or the best team. Like they now have an opportunity to showcase another team. Do you think that the NFL takes advantage of that?
No, I don't.
Really?
If you're asking me, do I think there's going to be a one team that's going to stay there and play
No,
it
no, no.
every
I'm just saying,
time?
like, if it's gonna be must watch, like
like marquee matchups. Yeah.
yes,
I mean, all those primetime games are must watch at the beginning of the season, typically.
that's fair.
It's like the fun part of it, right? Is like NFL has some idea. They have a prediction of how teams will do, right? And then they put them there. Like this means that they had quite high expectations for the Bears if they're putting them against the Super Bowl champs on Friday. Like, but look at the Bengals, right? Like they thought Burrow would be healthy, and that matchup was supposed to be more juicier than what it was. So like, it's all a gamble at the end of the day, right? Like they like try and make their best predictions and what it is, but no, I love what it is. Like, I was when you were talking, I was thinking if all the teams play, maybe they can add a second game on Friday or something like that. Was what I
If
was
they
thinking.
add a second game, I'm pretty sure that the NFL will need to add another game into the schedule and then another bye because that's going to be
I don't
so
know
many
that
games.
I mean, they're the NFL. They can do what they want, but I believe the issue is
It's
they're competing with
contractual.
college.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So I
Eh,
don't
yeah.
know that they'll be able
I
to.
mean, this is an NFL game, but like, damn, college football had those stacked. Like, they had some pretty good matchups themselves
Yeah.
this week too. But
Also Prime Vision. I love Prime Vision. I watched a whole game on Prime Vision. It was great. They had the probabilities of if it was going to be a run or a pass. It was great. I genuinely enjoyed that game. All right. Speaking of the game itself, Bears Eagles recap. The Bears beat the Eagles 24-15. Not only are we first place in the NFC North as of right now, we are first place in the NFC. Thank you to the Panthers beating the Rams.
whoop,
The Chicago Bears have now won 5 straight. We're going to get into some of the stats of the game. Caleb Williams went 17 of 36 with 154 yards through a beautiful touchdown, but also through one of the worst interceptions I think I've ever seen in a long time. Manungai led the game in rushing, 22 carries, 130 with 1 touchdown. Barkley only had 56 with 13. I'm sorry, I didn't give Hurts' numbers. Jalen Hurts went 230, 19 of 34 with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Met led the receiving with 36, and Bard led tackles with 4. We also got a couple interceptions in there too for our side, so we'll talk a little bit about the defense. But before we get started, we actually have to start with one of my favorite segments. I have to say one of my favorites because we have other segments now. So
the best minute in podcast out there.
the best minute, a minute's a long time, as Miller has proven before. So let's get into it. You know what time it is, gang.
It's Miller's Glazing Minute, brought to you by the Trio of Positivity Podcast.
Well, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? And let's go back last year around these times. If y'all remember, the Bears blew it in their Thanksgiving game against Detroit. Subsequently, a few days later, Matt Eberflus was fired by the Chicago Bears after starting 4-8, blowing multiple one-possession games at the end of games. We were the laughing stock of the NFL, firing the offensive coordinator 3 weeks prior. The Bears were in a free fall. Caleb was even being questioned if he was the number 1 seed. They said he was the problem. Fast forward, not even a year later, under a competent head coach, Caleb is 9-3 and leading the number 1 seed in the NFC. Let's fucking go. Now, he's not always great, but you know what? He's getting it done, baby. Hey!
Kept it under a minute this time with 2 seconds to spare, it looks like. Yeah, Bhupen, your thoughts on Caleb's performance?
Yeah, running game led the way. I don't know. The offense looked like they obviously had a game plan, which was like rushing was somehow an advantage for us, and they kept pushing on it over and over again. But he was making some timely plays. Let's be honest, like probably not the worst game we've seen him play this game, but probably somewhere in the middle. And like the stats weren't there to back it, but I thought he had a decent game. The the freaking interception, which he doesn't throw very often. Like, oh man, when that happened, I was like, oh no, here we go. But hey, like that's when the difference is. I think this year we have a coaching staff and we have a team around him, and everyone's rallying to the ball and playing hard. Again, like I don't think he's anywhere close to the 3 balls I'm giving away in a minute, like this preview. But like, props to him. He only made one boneheaded.
Yeah, I have to agree with what you guys said. I would probably want to nitpick on the bad, but that one touchdown he threw to Komet was gorgeous. Like, I mean, there's no other way of putting it. So, you know what? He got us the win. He went in prime time, all eyes on us kind of game, and got us first place. Like, this team is just, it's just going great.
I mean, to add on to that, past my minute, but even at the end of the game, the last drive or two, he was actually throwing some softies. It was rare to see. He was floating some balls out there for including the one to Komet. It was quite impressive to watch, and it was just like, ooh, is he pulling another tool out of his tool belt? Here we go, baby. We'll see. We'll see if he does that moving forward, because a lot of the times he's just ripping it. But this game, few softballs turned into some nice gains.
We have to talk about it. What the hell was that screen?
Dude, you see it all the time. You act like this is like abnormal.
Not like that though.
Yes, it happened all the time. And unfortunately, he made the wrong mistake and he threw it rather than throwing into the ground or
And he did
faking
he
it.
did the throwing on the ground on one of the plays too, which is smart. He knew one of the I don't know if it was before or after that play, but there was a person that came untouched and was gonna get railed, and he just threw it at the feet. I think it was a Swift. So like he's getting there, but like I said, I don't want to nitpick on that play. So speaking of not nitpicking, let's just jump into the best news. We're going into our news segment. I'm still working on a jingle for you, Bhupen, but coaches
Good, better, best, never let it rest.
there you go. Coaches love to
Until the
give
good gets better, better gets best.
coaches love to give balls away to their best players, and sometimes you need 2 of them. But for this, we're getting into 3 with Bhupen's balls, where Bhupen gives game balls to players of the game. Go ahead, Bhupen.
Thank you, sir. What a game. What a game, boys. I'm running out of good things to say about this team, so let's get straight into it. First off, honorable mention to that O-line. God, they played their asses off. But the third ball has to go to our running backs. Both of them hit 100 yards. First time it's been done since 1985. What else happened in 85? You guys can Google that. But I have to start there. Second ball goes to the league leading turnover machines. We got Kevin Byard with another interception. And Nashawn Wright, like the tush push, no more. Like he got the fumble. I think the fumble was probably like a good turning point in the game. God, hats off to those people, both of them. Again, like our defense is leading the league in turnovers, and these two are just leading it right from front. So props to them. Like, God, I can't say good things about him. Nashawn Wright actually got a game ball from Ben Johnson finally, which is also good to see. First one, probably, we've given them last week, but second week in a row, our DC, Dennis Allen, getting this shorthanded team to show up on a short week on the national stage, holding the Super Bowl champs to 15 freaking points. One, including some of us here, doubted them, but damn, the team stood up. Saquon Barkley had 36 some yards. We thought he would run 200 on us. Man, I don't know what these guys are eating, sir. Please keep doing this. Hopefully you get some reinforcement back soon, but until then, hats off to you, sir. You get the first game ball.
I know what they're eating. They're eating that chocolate shake from Wiener Circle because that's the only way they're performing that well. When we were talking about predictions last week, I said, and I'm not trying to take all the credit for it, but
Okay.
it was we needed the defense. Like if the defense could hold, we have a chance. They did more than hold. So
Chris, like, here's how amazing the backup linebackers were out, dude. Like, so these people are basically off practice squads and off the streets that we are playing. But like as a unit, they all make it work, man. Just incredible. Like I'm like I said, running with good things to say about this team right now.
yep, we got Hurts on an interception. Saquon Barkley was struggling. He got a good few runs, but like he wasn't what we thought. Some people here said that he was going to take over the game. We didn't even get to see that. Let's get into some questions of the game. We usually talk about the offense. I like to say the word inconsistency as a whole, typically with a running game. But even with this win and how Caleb performed, how are we feeling with this offense? Or are we just at a point where whatever the offense is, if it's great, great. If it's not, we're just getting wins?
I would like to ask a question.
Sure.
Define inconsistent, please.
Sure. When you do one thing and then you don't repeat it the following week.
Okay.
So if you run for 300 yards one week and you run for 299 the next week, you're
It's
inconsistent.
inconsistent. No,
Hey, man,
but in all
what-
seriousness, I think if we have 300 rushing yards, we're not talking about, and that's just a great game in general. What I was just trying to say was that
We had
We went from,
284, so
I was
we
going to say
went-
we pretty much had 284.
listen, when I'm talking about the offense, is how Caleb goes, is how we go. Caleb had how many touchdowns last week?
2, I think.
I thought it was 3
wait, last week or this week? Eagles or
in the previous game, not Eagles game.
3, I think.
Yeah, 3.
Steelers?
So on this one, we had 1, but we had a great running game. Like my thing is, do we need that? Do we need our quarterback to go 2+ touchdowns, 3+ touchdowns to get wins, or are we just gonna get wins?
Dude, you need to stop. Okay, I love you. You need to stop on hating this offense.
I am not hating. It's a
doesn't
genuine question.
Through one player. This is not the Caleb show anymore. Okay, he's not the guy that is doing everything for this offense. You need to get over it. He doesn't need to make every splash play. If he has a bad game, it doesn't mean we're inconsistent. It just means that Ben Johnson is better than everybody else. And what he's doing offensively is just crazy at this point. They didn't need Caleb to do anything special. He threw some balls away. He missed a few throws. He adjusted. He made some good plays. You can't take that away from him. But the bottom line is Ben Johnson saw the deficiency from the get-go. They knew, and they ran it down their throats. The entire game, all they did was run. And they came out victorious because of it. 284 yards later. You need to get off this Caleb hate bandwagon and jump on board to the offensive bandwagon rather than just the hating on Caleb.
Listen, it's not hating on Caleb. It's
Bullshit. That,
you know what's
that
crazy? No,
fucking
no.
tune
Let me
changed after
let me put
going
it to you.
9
let me-
and 10 these last
let-
10 games, didn't it?
Let me put it to you this way, though. After this game, you know what was the question on a lot of the media networks? Now that you've seen them beat the Eagles the way that they did, are they now a real team? They were asking if a 9-3 team at this point in the season was real, and that's because of what the Bears are. So
You
yes,
don't know who's real. You don't know who's real right now. Look at the Colts. What have the Colts done? They were 8-2, and now they're like 8-4. They're struggling. They're going to be asking the same question there because they just lost to 2 playoff teams. Like, you don't know who's real anymore. It's a pretty even keel league, I mean, every week you have upsets. You have the Panthers that are, I think, 7-5 or 7-6. They're surprising people. They're gonna just they want the clicks, bro.
Hey, let's switch it over to the defense. We had a couple players come back from injury, but it didn't look like the defense skipped a beat compared to the last week. Boys, how much credit do we need to give this defense for this win in particular? Miller, start us off.
Yeah, they deserve a lot of credit. I mean, they really held Saquon in check, which was the big question mark. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you saw the CJGJ interview, like it just seems like the Eagles are having some issues on offense. They're not scheming anything up. There's no movement on the line, but pre-snap motion. They're just plain Jane, man, and they're getting ripped for it consistently. So as much as I want to you got to give props to our defense, like Bhupen mentioned before. We got linebackers that were at Top Golf last week. They're playing this week, and it's just like it's impressive that we were able to limit their best player. But AJ did have a game, so we'll see if we can get that corrected. But got to give him props.
Bhupen, what do you think?
Yeah, like again, non-believer here for how much they did. They definitely deserve credit, but it's like that annoying like defense that we had under Flus where they would bend not break. Is that version of that? I think what we are seeing because, like Miller said, AJ Brown got his, but still we were able to like. I still don't understand how Saquon did not get 400 yards on us. I know the game. I watched the game. I still don't understand it. So props to them. Like Miller said, we saw an advantage. We took it. But I still don't understand what went wrong for Philly and how we got this.
So-
Well, if you had him on your fantasy team, you would know that it's not an anomaly because he has not done well for me.
I watched the game with two of my buddies, Z and Dakota, who are Philly fans, and apparently the city of Philadelphia has been clamoring to get rid of their offensive coordinator.
OC, yeah.
I was not aware of this. I asked throughout the game, like, what are you guys talking about? You're 8-3 at this point. And they're both like, no, you don't understand. Like, we're watching this offense go down. And as I'm watching the game, they're like, look, AJ Brown is a great zone, like inside zone person. He can get in there, he'll make the catch, and sure enough, he made some great catches. And there was a one touchdown that he caught on the corner that was amazing too. But like, apparently, this has been ongoing, and the Philly fans are feeling it. So I understand that. I wasn't aware of it before I made the picks that was a thing. I think if we kind of did a little bit more research on that, we probably could have seen something about that. But even as someone that doesn't really follow other teams like that, that just came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, like, but usually, like, when that happens, a team like the Bears, with all the injury we had, I love the Bears, but like, with all the I think this would be a get right game on the way to the playoffs. That's what I was worried about. Like, a dumb person like us can say, run the freaking ball or figure a way to run the ball. Because, like I said, our linebackers were in street clothes last week, and they somehow missed that.
That's one thing too. And Miller, I think you were going to say something, but if not, the time of possession, the Bears really took advantage of that. Having our defense not be there that long and the offense taking over with time, I think that was a lot more helpful than people think.
Well, when you have an inconsistent run game like the Bears have,
That is very true. You know what?
happens.
You said it this time, and I'm glad that it took
Go
this
ahead,
long
clip
for
it.
you.
Clip it.
I'm glad it took this long for you to realize that. All right, let's switch off into some other topics here. Ben Johnson made SportsCenter, not because he made an amazing play, but because of what happened in the locker room after the game. I did not write this question, but apparently the question is, should we start creating the mold for the Ben Johnson statue at the same time the stadium is built at Arlington Heights? Jesus Christ, we're going to lose subscribers with this question, but Miller, go ahead.
Yes, we are on multiple points. But I mean, I don't know if you saw the post game. I don't know. Flashback a few weeks earlier, the local hot dog joint, Wiener Circle downtown, gave out free hot dogs because they said if Caleb had a 4 touchdown game, they would do it. They did it. I think a few days later they came out and they said they would do it again if Ben Johnson took his shirt off. Well, he was asked about that. He was aware of it many weeks ago, but every week just kept going by, going by, and going by. And finally, this week, the motherfucker takes his shirt off in the speech. It was beautiful. It was awesome. And it was everywhere. It exploded. It was on all the big networks. They were talking about the fact that he did this for the city of Chicago. We're eating tonight, baby. Tuesday, 11 until they run out. Get in line early. You might be able to see and meet Caleb Williams' dog.
What?
Yeah, he was there the last time they did it. They also did have Prime, the post-game analysts, look at that after, and you can tell right away, like, that locker room is awesome. And
People were breaking the ceiling. They were breaking the
Yeah.
spine.
there was a thing that I didn't like when Ben Johnson was doing that because it just felt like, it's. But I think people just gravitated toward him now. Like, I'm okay with it now, just given the success. But listen, I'm being very
Okay,
real.
hang on,
I'm
hang
not
on.
a fan of people like.
Okay, I want to
Going
take a
above your-
vote. People, please comment on this. When that video drops, I feel like running through a wall, and I don't even play for this team. Okay, if it doesn't get you that freaking fired up, get the f out of here,
Here's
dude.
my thing. No, here's my thing, and that's a great question to hear the comments. If you're 2-7 and you give a speech like that, like, come on, like, that's what I'm saying. If you're 2-7 and you hear a speech like that, like, ugh, I don't know.
I have some support in the room right here,
Dude,
but
you're just a fucking hater, bro.
I
You've
know.
been a
Not a
hater
hater, I
all
don't
year.
know, it's-
You hated the quarterback.
okay.
You hated Ben Johnson. The speech after.
No, I
now
don't
we're
hate
winning.
Ben Johnson.
We're
I
9
don't
and 3,
hate Ben
number
Johnson.
1 in the NFC, and now you're like slowly coming over to our side, acting like you were here the whole time. And
Let's
for the
not
best,
talk
baby,
about.
but
Oh,
Let's
hang on,
not
hang
talk
on.
about going
Baby.
on the other side, you bitches. I remember who you guys picked to win this game. so
Okay,
get
all
off
right.
my
well.
dick.
Hey, let's go back to the question. I saw you guys slip that Arlington Heights question in there. First off, fuck you. Second off, I do like the first part of the question. Wherever the new stadium is, I'll give you guys that much. We can
Arlington
build a
Heights,
statue,
bro.
but
Not wherever.
hey,
It's Arlington Heights.
people, hang on. Gold standard dad bod, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
He is pretty ripped. I'm not gonna
Make-
lie. I was not expecting that.
Make dad bod great again. Let's go.
that's probably why it took him like a month. You needed to get it
He
shaped.
probably
He
did.
was getting
Or
insane.
right before he gave the speech, he did like 50 sit-ups or whatever because he knew he was gonna do that.
Man, that was awesome.
That was great. It's great for us to have little moments like that. Next question that we have here is, what do we make of this offensive line with Trapillo being our left tackle? Can we consider this line the best in the league? Bhupen.
I don't know where that question came from, but good point you guys brought up. Both Theo and Trapillo, they were our lowest graded offensive players on the line. But here's
Where?
what I,
Yeah,
Sorry?
where?
Where?
on all
Pretty
websites,
fucking false.
Pretty fucking false.
on all websites with credibility.
They
but
also rated Caleb
Credibility.
Williams behind
What?
JJ McCarthy last week.
I saw that last. That
Hold
was-
on.
that was
What do
okay.
you mean credibility when players don't even buy it? Come on now.
There's
Go
got to
ahead.
be a way. I know there some of the standards and like might be low, but there is no other way. I'm sorry. Like, find me another way. I'll stop looking at them. But the good news, like, I was reading some stuff after looking at this question was, it seems like O-line and like O-line coaches, if let's say your left tackle's out, you're able to make that up. You may like put a tight end on the running back in there. There's ways to like kind of counter that, and because the rest of the unit is like, there's like the other 4 people are in top 10 of the league when most of the standings I've seen. Because of that, they're able to like counteract that one glaring need we have with like the tight end will chip them or whatever, and we are able to overcome that. I am proud of that. I'm
Wait,
like,
it's almost like you're saying we're inconsistent. What do you mean?
I'm not saying we're into. I'm saying that's a need, and I am proud of that. Even with that being a need, our offensive line is playing as well as it's doing 284 yards.
Miller, go ahead.
Okay, so first off, you're going to insult my question, give a bullshit answer how one guy is rated badly this past game, even though he's being praised on how well he stepped into the left tackle role and how many people view him as the future left tackle in this league, after you yourself have praised Ryan Poles for all his picks and him being a second rounder and how we need to give him time to develop. And then you discount our offensive line and not even think that you consider them a best in the league. We have 4 solid, really, really good offensive linemen and 1 mediocre one, and you're going to not call that one of the best in the leagues? Come on, bro. Don't insult my question like that. Name me a better one if you're going to be like, I don't know where this question came from. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I just knew.
I bet you we have a better running game than they do. And passing game.
All right. We will take it offline.
I am taking Miller's side. I feel like, given the performance that we had with the run game, this has to be top 5 guaranteed.
Bro, you are Mr. Inconsistent. If we don't
listen, when we're talking about just offensive line, though, the fact that we still don't give up that many sacks, I think we only gave up 2 or 3 this game.
2.
We gave up 2. Like, come on, we used to give up 7 per game or 8 per game, and that's all because of scheming and the offensive line. We have to give them love, bro. It's top 3 in my book, so I agree with Miller. All right, boys, those were the questions on the recap. We're gonna get to the best
next
part.
week. I'm asking questions. Fuck this bullshit.
All right, I look forward to seeing that agenda with some. How would you rate Ben Johnson's chest between 1 and 10 in the positivity score?
The 4 chests here, the golden chest.
The 4 chests. The nipple awards.
Dad bod.
Golden areolas presented by Ben Johnson. Let's go into our positivity score. We give positivity scores of 1 to 10, depending on the performance each week. Last week, Miller had the Bears at an 8. Bhupen had them at a 7.5. I had them at a 7. Miller, do you want to start us off? Where are we at on the positivity score? You did say last week these increments are getting weird. Are they getting weird?
You really want me to start?
Yes.
Say it. Say it.
I did
Oh my God.
We're the number 1 seed in the NFC. How do you not have us at a 9.5?
Jesus Christ.
Let's go, motherfuckers. Let's fucking go.
All right, Bhupen.
Nowhere to go but down, baby.
I was at a 7.5, and we were going up like half a point in basically every game because we were winning. This was a statement win, I think. I have to go up. I'm not as high as Miller. I can't be. Maybe I wish I was. I will go up a whole point. 8.5 is where I am at.
All right. 8.5.
Pretty close.
Listen.
Miller, there's only 1.5 between you and Super Bowl now.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to go another increment, but you're going full. If we'll talk about it here in a little bit. I just want to say, Bhupen is not drinking enough of the sauce. I'm at 9. This was a hell of a win on prime time. Every eyes was on his game, and now the whole fucking world knows this Bears team is for real after the performance they gave with the Bears. 9. I'm sticking to it. I was going to go a little bit higher. No, this game, just the way that we got the fans to leave with like 10 minutes in the game. It was so great. We had a fuck the Packers chant going. You can hear the whole stadium. It was a Bears filled fucking stadium. It was a great game.
Dominated the game, man. We were up by what? 14, 15 points going into the
score at the end.
Scored a garbage time?
Yeah, score at the end did not reflect the game. We were
missed the field goal too. There's so much we could go into.
Any thoughts on that 2-point conversion that Sirianni ran?
My friends didn't like it. I'll tell you that.
Originally, my first thought when they ran the 2-point conversion right after they scored the first touchdown was like, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you score? But after thinking about it, really hearing him too, it kind of does make sense. You kind of want to know how many possessions you need to have.
That's what they said on Prime Vision too, where it's like, hey, you miss it. All right, you know what you have to do next, but
you need 2 possessions, so you need to do an onside kick.
Yep.
I kind of get that.
They didn't. My friends didn't like it. We didn't understand it, and then they gave that great explanation on Prime Vision, and we're like, it makes sense. And I think that's a great view of how analytics are kind of taking over a lot of that because that's an analytic decision. I think coaches from the past would never make something like that. They would secure the points and figure it out as the game goes on.
And then they
you
would
know?
have, if they got in the end zone again, they would run it.
Yeah. All right, boys. Probably the most important game that the Bears have coming up in the foreseeable future. It is Bears versus Packers at Lambeau Field. 3:25 kickoff. ESPN Sportsbook, bet responsibly if you decide to have it as if over 46.5. It actually dropped to 45.5 as of today, and the Packers are favorite. They started at -6.5, and then that's now at 6. Boys, what do the Bears need to do to get a victory at Lambeau Field? Miller.
Stop Micah Parsons. We've seen it in multiple games this year. The stud defensive end causing havoc in the Bears' backfield. You saw it with TJ Watt. You saw it with Max Crosby. Luckily, we were able to get past them and get those dubs. Let's see if we can do it again. They did just lose Wyatt. We don't know the status of him. He's the big defensive tackle that really helps the run, really stops the run. So if we can stop Micah Parsons from causing havoc in the background, we have a chance to be successful.
Bhupen, your thoughts?
Yeah, we got to stay on our game plan that's been working. Offense, keep scoring points. Let the defense step up. I'm not even going to say anything. Let the defense step up like they have been. Like they've been showing up when we need them to. Offense has been staying on task. We need the same game.
I am going to go a different route, and I'm going to say there's 2 players that need to have great performances. Well, 3, because one of them is going to be throwing to him, basically. So 3 players need to have great performance. DJ Moore needs to have a fantastic game. We need to see more explosive plays going to him. I think he looked great this game on some of the possessions. I know some were kind of like set up for him to kind of make some headway. I think this is the game where you might actually see some more because I think this is going to be a Loveland game. I think Loveland is going to go nuts this game. If they use him correctly and he just, I don't know, he's been looking great the last couple weeks. This is looking like a great pick. I don't know. I don't know, I don't know how you guys are more into the draft picks than I am, but the more that I see Loveland, it's like I get it. I get why this pick happened. I think he and DJ Moore need to have a hell of a game. The defense obviously needs to keep getting healthy, keep doing what they're doing, but these guys need to have a hell of a game for the Bears to win this out. Let's look over on the other side of the field. The Packers had a game against the Lions, and there's no other way of saying it. So what do the Packers need to do to win the game? Bhupen.
Yeah, Packers, I think the run game didn't look as great. Love picked defense apart. Threw for 4 touchdowns against the Lions. But I think if they want to win this game, I feel like they have to take advantage of our weakness, again, linebackers, and run the ball. That like you said, control the football, control the play clock, keep our offense at bay as much as possible. That's what they need to do. Change it up a little bit. And if they're successfully able to do that at home, I think they beat us.
Miller?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that game against Detroit was the best I've seen Jordan Love play. He was playing really well. You got to hope the Lions curse. I don't know if it's still as big a deal as it was like last year, but the Lions curse whenever the team that plays the Lions the following week, they usually lose because they get so beat up. So we'll see if that happens with the Packers. I got hope that it does, but as far as their team is concerned, I would imagine Jordan Love needs to have a good game, spread the ball around like he has been to his weapons, and get that running game going. Let's see how this offense competes against this defense. Can this defense continue to outperform?
Yeah, Jordan Love went 18 of 30, 234 yards with 4 touchdowns. Jared Goff had a game. Like, people are forgetting that. He went 20 for 26, 256 yards for 2 touchdowns. I think for me, Miller kind of touched on it with Parsons. I think if Parsons can have a game where he puts pressure on Caleb and forces him to make bad throws or forces him to make bad decisions, it's going to be a long day for our offense. So I think that offensive pressure, I think we're going to see a lot more blitzes. We're going to see a lot more pressure from this team because I think they think, not to say that they're right, but I think they think that if they put pressure on Caleb Williams throughout the whole game, he's going to make some mistakes, and that's probably going to be what leads them. We're recording on Sunday. We normally record our episodes on Tuesday, release on Wednesday, but because of the Black Friday schedule, we are doing this a little bit early, so we don't know what the weather is going to be at Lambeau. Typically, these are both cold weather teams, so it's not really going to affect them. But the 3:00 game going in from daytime to night, I know has some effect on some teams, but we're both outdoor teams. I don't think it's really going to be a big deal. So let's get into it. Probably one of our most popular shorts that we had from our last week, which was Bears Eagles prediction. Now we have to do Bears Packers predictions. There we go. Currently our record, Miller is 8-4, Bhupen 7-5. I am at a solid 9-3, baby, just like the Chicago Bears. When we looked at this game in particular, even though I was criticized about why I was picking certain ways when we did the recording, Bhupen and Miller both have losses happening. I had them winning this game. Will that stay? Let's find out. Who wants to start? Let's start there. Who wants to start?
Hey, you got the magic tongue right now. Let's go.
You want me to start? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
I'll
idea.
start. So listen, last week I called you guys sheeps. I apologize, but when I'm right, I'm right. Sometimes we just forget. We do this podcast, we get all these stats, we try to be very smart with it, but sometimes we have to be fans. We have to support our team, even though it might look like a blowout or all of these things, whatever the case is. This was the one game that I looked at the schedule when we were talking about my dumbass comment from last week about winning out and whatnot. This was the game that I felt could start. We would lose against Eagles, but I picked them to win. But if it would have been like back-to-back losses, which could have knocked us out. So that's why I didn't explain myself correctly. So I apologize for that. Boys, I'm riding this train. I am riding this train hard. I think it's going to be another close one. I think it's going to be 27-23 Bears.
Yes.
There's just something about this team. I'm not even going to say I wish this was different or whatever case may be. No, I am riding this team hard and dry all year long now. We are winning this game. My confidence is up. I'm at a 9 on the positivity score. Bears win, Bears win, Bears win. Who would like to go next?
Let's go. I'll go. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Is Caleb Williams going to beat the Packers 2 times in Lambeau Field in 2025? Hell no, he's not.
God damn.
We are not getting the dub this week. Packers are going to win 24-17. I just don't think we have the offense this week to compete. I think Mike Parsons causes a lot of havoc, specifically with our rookie. And I think the Packers are going to beat us in Lambeau.
Well, the sheep continue to ride, it looks like. Bhupen, are we steering this ship or are you going to keep going with the herd with Miller?
Like you said, I feel like I need to explain myself too. So, a couple of weeks ago, I was leading this prediction record between the three of us. I had a little bit of a lead, let's be honest, but I've been putting it on the line, people. I've been hoping, I've been praying that the Bears win, but on this prediction, I've been saying they lose because on paper, it looks like a loss, and it's been going well, at least for the Bears. I have lost 3 in a row, I think, but the Bears have won, like you say, 5 in a row. So I'm going to keep this train going. I'm going to say we lose a close one in Lambeau, 24-20, but you guys know where I'm.
No, see, Miller, no. I have to throw my bone in here. We can't let this be a thing. No. Because then he's going to take credit. He's going to go on a 10-loss streak.
No.
Saying that I've been picking
What is he
against
taking credit for?
I'm saying
his
they
record
lose.
is his record.
I'm
It's not claiming it's different.
He's picking against them just because to say that because he's picking against them, they're
Maybe
winning.
he wants to be happy either way. Either he's right and the Packers win, or he's happy that the Bears won.
No,
I don't see the problem with it.
There was
He's
a
not
lot of
taking
things.
credit for it.
There's a lot of games, right? The Detroit game with the Packers, I think our cornerback safeties is a strength of the defense. Our D-line is not. The lines are the opposite. The D-line is their strength. And their cornerbacks and safeties looks like not the strength. So it was interesting to see Love throw. I think that will contain, like Miller said, the wide guy, the other defensive end is out. That means we should be able to handle Parson. I feel positively, but I think still Packers in Lambeau are our kryptonite, and recently we won there, so like the chances are we don't get us lucky, so we lose 24-20. It's a close game.
I don't know. I guess it's the homer in me that it's like I'm finally confident to say this is what I'm looking for, and then here I am hearing this bullshit where 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 we're not on the same page. So you know what? I understand it. I get it. Let us know in the comments again how these two guys are wrong, or now people are gonna think we're Packers fans because
I mean,
two
you
of the
could still
trio.
be an elite team and go to probably the fifth best team in the NFC and lose in their building. That doesn't make you a shitty team at this point. You've already
No, but
proven
I think
enough.
given what
You're not
happened
going to win
today,
out.
no, but given what happened today, I know Bhupen was giving stats before. ESPN had the Bears at making the playoffs still at 60, 61 or something like that. So, like, even a game like this still has importance. I think, Miller, you and I can probably agree that the Lions game maybe at the end of the season might not have as much to deal with, maybe, just given because the Lions lost and we don't know what they look like now, too. But I think the Packers games, both of them, this one and the one that we have at home, just got a little bit more important. Um, even for the division, they still have that damn draw, which still
But
pisses me
just
off.
remember, the Bears control their own destiny.
Okay, see, you only say okay. I realize what pissed me off, and I didn't get a chance to explain it. You know who says when they control their own destiny? When they're trying to get into the playoffs. I've never heard someone control their own destiny when they were third or fourth in the division or in the conference trying to get into first. That's what it is. When people say that, oh, you control your own destiny, that's when you're in the bubble of making the playoffs, and then you need to win out, and then all
No,
the
that's
other
not
things
true
need
at
to
all.
happen. That's
Not
how
true
I
at
see
all.
it. That's
It's
how
whenever
I see it.
you're competing with other teams for an end goal and then you have the inside track for that goal, you control your own destiny.
Agree to
Doesn't
disagree,
matter what
but
it is.
let us know in the comments.
Agree to disagree on numbers, Miller.
Agree to
Jeez.
disagree on facts. Is what I'm basically saying.
Yes,
Because
facts are
Miller's
with Miller,
wrong.
by the way.
No, the
but-
facts are not with Miller, but that's fine. All right, let's get into a fantasy recap. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit limited just because of when we're recording this. This will be released on Monday, where we still have a game. We don't know what might happen after that. But Bhupen, lead us off. What are some of your biggest questions after Week 13 in fantasy?
Yeah, well, week 13 was in the books. Again, we don't have the whole picture in front of us, but just looking at the bigger picture, I saw a couple things I wanted to bring to you guys and get your thoughts on it. First one was Lamar Jackson, right? Top 3, top 4 drafted quarterback. Here's his last 3 finishes: 6.72 fantasy point, 7.22 fantasy point, 7.54 fantasy point. This is like one of the guys who you like plug in your lineup and you're probably better off that he's on your team than not. But this is concerning, right? Especially going into the playoffs. He does have some like easy matchups coming up against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, but there's also New England in there, and they finished the season with Green Bay. I wanted to bring it to you guys and see if you have some people might have Lamar Jackson on their squad, right? Should they be concerned, like look into like possibly playing the matchups, benching him? What would you guys do?
I think that's a really good question, but if I'm being honest, I can't bench him. I mean, you used probably a 4th round pick, maybe a 3rd round pick on him to be your franchise guy. Could you imagine down the stretch if you're at a position where you could potentially get in the playoffs and you're going to bench him for Sam Darnold and Lamar goes off? Everybody's hypothesizing that he's still dealing with his injury, he's causing issues, but like, I don't know. I just have a really tough time benching a player of that stature at this point when you want to get into the promised land.
I agree. I mean, the question comes to who is that backup quarterback that you think can get you more points than Lamar Jackson, and that statement alone is very small. Miller said Sam Darnold. Some might even say Caleb at this point too. Could be
He's not going to be on your waiver wire.
But that's what I'm
talking
saying.
about
Like,
guys that are
but
elite.
even not waiver. Like, who would you have on your bench right now
Like
with
Tua,
Lamar?
like maybe Jordan Love before last week, like some of those players that have like
I feel like Jordan Love is still a decent fantasy starter.
yeah, he hasn't.
I don't know
again,
if it's
Hit or miss.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say you would start him more than put him on your bench.
Yeah.
If you have a good team.
Like I think I'm with Miller a little bit here. Like I think he's hurt, and Ravens needed to win, right? Like after like they were in a really deep hole. They get
Well, no, sorry to cut you off. I didn't think they needed to. It was more Cincinnati needed to win to get their playoff. Like I think it was more pressure on Cincinnati than Baltimore at this point.
well, Baltimore
Why?
started.
Why? Wait. Why is that?
What do you mean?
Why did Cincinnati need to win more than Baltimore did?
To get their playoff
Is it because
percentages up?
Baltimore controls
Controls
their
their own
destiny?
destiny.
No, obviously not. You guys are
You know,
fucking
no.
dumb.
No, so they were 2-5 when they were like all said and done, and they basically needed to win out to even have a shot at playoffs. That's where we were a couple of games ago. They won like 4 in a row, whatever. So they were on the right track. But my genuine question is, because he's on the injury report every week, he misses a couple of practices, toe, knee, whatever he has got going on. So like my genuine question is, if they were not in that hole, would he play? Like that's my genuine question. And you know,
That is a very different question than performance. If Baltimore is like, listen, we don't want you getting hurt, we don't have a chance of making the playoffs, and we're going to bench you, that obviously will have more fantasy implications than anything else.
no, but
So I
they
think-
have not benched him. Remember against the Bears, he was not on the injury report, and suddenly he didn't play. Like I think that's what's happening. They are just like there's a lot happening behind the scenes. They are not letting us, and I think he's pushing to play. I'm not saying the team is pushing him to play.
No, but I guess at that point that's just mismanagement, and that's not even on him. That's just more on what the team wants to do. So I don't even know if I could put that on Lamar. That's just
no,
bad on Baltimore.
No, that's just a fact. But the question is like, would you be comfortable starting him in the playoffs with the next couple of matches?
If this continued to happen, then no, because
Okay.
it's too last minute. But it's only happened once, so I can't.
Three
It's not a
times,
trend
Three
yet.
times.
3 times he's got under 7, 8 points,
No,
under 8 points.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're talking two different things. I'm saying if Baltimore is mishandling his injury to the point where he's not playing and it's not being announced accordingly, that if that continues to happen, then you cannot run the risk of having someone that might not even play on your starter. That's what I'm saying. If we're talking about points and you need quarterback points, you have to ask yourself, like Miller said, is Sam Darnold the guy that can at least get you double what has been for the last 3 weeks for Lamar Jackson? And then you also have to look at schedules too. Like, is there a matchup for him? But what I'm trying to say is, if Baltimore is mismanaging how they're handling his injuries, and then they announce like, oh, he was participating. Oh, well, we're going to sit him. Just get another quarterback. That's already enough for me to want to get off of him.
Yeah, like I think that's the hard part. They probably won't bench him. He'll probably start hurt and probably hurt and end up hurting a team. So plan accordingly. Another similar situation likely, Emeka Egbuka, who was like a stud in the first half of the season, was carrying your team with all the injuries that the Buccaneers had going on. Here's his last 3 finishes: 4 points, 3.2 points, and 4.2 points. Again, under 5 in all 3 games after a start of a season. I think this coincides with Baker's injury, coincides with Godwin coming back, right? There's a couple other things happening on the team too. Similar thing. Is he put in your lineup and forget it? Are you guys like concerned? Maybe play some matchups. I think that Mike Evans is supposed to come back soon as well. Just trying to get your concern meter on Emeka Egbuka as well.
Miller, would you say that Tampa has a soft schedule coming up?
Oh yeah,
I can give you their schedule right now, and you can tell
Oh.
me if it's soft.
I got it lined up too.
It's schedule right now.
Yeah, it's next opponent's going to be at home at New Orleans, at home at Atlanta, at Carolina, at Miami, at home at Carolina.
That seems pretty soft for the most part. I don't know. I have him. He's going to be in my lineup. My wide receivers aren't great. I drafted Brian Thomas, so I trust him over Brian Thomas right now. But I think a lot of it coincides with Baker, to be honest. Baker hasn't been that good. They are getting Bucky back, which is going to probably snake some more touchdowns. But realistically, if you look at Baker's numbers, it just hasn't been there the last few weeks.
I would keep him. I mean, the schedule is good enough for me. Unless you have, again, same thing with the Lamar Jackson. If you have someone that you think will get you more based on that, then you might
Such
as well.
a great answer.
Like
You have
just-
someone that you think is better, then change it. But
From a points perspective, not the player. If you think someone's going to get you more points, then you're getting into
like I
playoffs at this
said-
point.
like
You
I
have
said,
to make
such
that
a great
jump.
answer. It's not even answering Bhupen's question.
What do you
I-
mean? Yes, it is. I said keep him in.
No, I feel his point. It's like temporary expectations. He's not gonna blow the lid off. Probably, like
But
probably.
that's who you have. That's why you have him to blow the lid, because he is that deep threat.
Right,
Mike
but,
Evans isn't going to come back and be that deep threat.
I mean, Godwin today was like pretty involved in the game today. So like, they're just looking at that. Like,
He's not a deep threat.
he's not. But no, like,
Mecca is that guy that can blow the top off the defense and get a
Yeah.
50, 60-yard touchdown throw.
like
Baker's just
bouncing-
not hitting those.
Yeah, maybe higher ceiling, on his quote. But like, I'm thinking, wide receiver 2, possibly 3, flex play is what I'm keeping it as. So temporary expectations is what I'm keeping. But I don't have him in any of my teams, so it's probably advice for other people. But fantasy wise, again, it's pretty early in the week, but I wanted to take the time to kind of like list some injuries so you guys can follow accordingly, make your waiver picks, whatever you got to do. Probably the top one out there is Kyron Williams, checked out of the game with an ankle issue.
Fine.
Blake Corum was already very involved in today's game, as Miller will tell you from personal experience. Keep an eye out on that. He's probably
He's fine. He came back into the game and then actually produced. He's fine.
something to monitor. Los Angeles quarterback Justin Herbert, actually his non-throwing hand will require surgery. He's having surgery tomorrow, supposedly. Keep an eye out. No one said he was missing time or anything like that, but injury, like surgery during the season is like pretty interesting to hear. Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. again left with a heel injury. He just came back. I have him on one of my team. I need him badly, but he didn't do much today. So again, he could
Are
be.
you playing him?
I did today, and I paid the price for it. So Brissett looks for him. That's the best part about it. I think Brissett wants him to succeed. He's just not been healthy this year. If he's fully healthy, I think he'd have a really good year in Brissett. Reminds me of old school Fitzgerald almost. Like really good potential. Quarterback is looking for him, but it hasn't been healthy so far.
Yeah, I have to figure out. I'm in the same boat as you. I have him in one of my leagues, but I'm benching Justin Jefferson for anybody. But
Hey,
we'll see
Justin
if you play him.
Jefferson, that probably had negative games most of today's game. Yeah, that guy. Aaron Jones left today's game with an injury. Again, he's old. He gets hurt all the time, but he usually plays through a lot. So keep an eye out. Mason is probably worth mentioning. Some people might have dropped him because, his role was diminishing. Someone to keep an eye for. Probably the biggest one is Amon-Ra St. Brown, hurt Thanksgiving. He's set to be week to week. Tesla had a good touchdown. Freaking Jameson Williams was eating on Thanksgiving. Jameson's probably on someone's team, but Tesla might be available. Maybe one of the tight ends are available. Something to look out for. Even Montgomery had a good game after. Lions, there's definitely opportunity there. They'll be hungry. They need to win a lot of games, so they'll be playing angry the rest of the season. That's all I had early in the week, boys.
All right, boys, with that, it's the end of our episode. This has been a hell of a season. I kind of don't know where we're going to go from here, but let's fucking get a win against Green
Be
Bay,
happy.
huh?
Just be happy. Just be excited that we're the best team in the NFC as of right now, even though we're tied with Seattle. But you know what? That doesn't matter because we're better against NFC. Our conference is better against the NFC than theirs is. So fuck 'em.
First time since 2018 we'll have a winning season. So it's like crazy to hear. Let's enjoy this, right? Like, it's been a long time coming. Yes, there are some opportunities on this team, but fuck it, there's opportunities everywhere. Despite of that, we're winning. So props to the team. Props to everybody. Thank you for
Boys,
listening.
We are actually giving positivity in the podcast for the first time ever. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, share with everyone. We're going to not be in misery. We're going to keep winning. Bear down. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.